I started climbing, I think the first time I was probably 4 or 5 or so. Kind of spent just the next 10 years scrambling around on as many rocks as I could find, mostly outdoors. I didn't take it seriously as a sport until probably 14 or so. So I'd say I've been climbing seriously as a central point of my life for about 10 years now. I started climbing the Ascent when it first opened, which was back in like 2010, 2011. I think the end of 2010 was when it was sort of starting to get going. So I climbed there for like, yeah, I guess right up until I went to college, which was 2014, so about 4 years. And then I climbed the Ascent every time I came back home from college. And then I started working back here once I graduated part-time, and now I'm back full-time at the Ascent. Things I set, one of the main setters here. I'm also the head coach for the USA climbing team. I'm head of recruitment, general managing sort of stuff, work the front desk. I kind of have my toe in everything here. Well, I started coaching swimming. I was a competitive swimmer for many years. It was about 18 years or so. I started coaching swimming, summer league, giving private lessons back when I was honestly probably 12, and I did that all the way into college. So about 6 years or so of swim coaching. I was also coaching rock climbing when the leagues first started at the Ascent. I was coaching some of the kids back then. I just love it. I think it's a great way for me personally to learn as well, to explain things to someone else. I can learn it and understand it better, but also just the mentality that you're helping someone become a better version of themselves and achieve their goals. There's nothing like it. I can't say that there are too many experiences that surprise me. Coaching climbing is different than coaching swimming. And I would say the closest thing that has come to surprise me is what some kids are capable of when they believe in themselves, which is kind of a cliche, but you really don't understand it until there's just a moment when you finally convince them that they can do something they didn't think they could do, and then they execute it, and it's just flawless. It's a rare thing, but when it does happen, it's kind of like a gem in the midst of all the coaching. Well, I had a climbing accident a couple years ago where I was lead belaying a guy, and he fell. I jumped underneath him as he was going to deck, and his head landed on my hand and broke 2 bones in my right hand. So recovering from breaking 2 bones in my dominant hand and coming back into the climbing scene and becoming a better climber, I think, overall than I was before the break. Having that happen and translating that into what's possible for the kids, and that you can overcome anything that you thought you could. The doctor said I would never regain full extension in my hand, and I did regain full extension in my hand, and you just have to work for it. And so that was a new lens for me to see personal growth, and for me to translate to the climbers as well, that they can, if I can do it, they can do it. They can overcome it. Whatever it is that's bogging them down. The most rewarding part of coaching, when they accomplish their goals for the season, that's the most rewarding part. And I think watching the kids improve throughout the season, and it's noticeable, and I can also point out, hey, you couldn't do that last week, you can do that this week, that's an improvement, you should be proud of that. When they realize that they really are getting better, that's gotta be the most rewarding aspect of it. I love working at the Ascent because of the community that it has, and how long it's been here in Murfreesboro. How many times I've come back with a completely new set of faces. It never gets old. I just love the people that work here. I love the gym, I love the climbing. It's just a really good culture, I'd say. And it integrates you into the community of Murfreesboro as well, and you get to see people and work with people that you can see around town as well. It's a small town that you just kind of see strangers, and there's someone who's already popped into the Ascent. I'd say coming into 2020, as a coach, I would really like to get the entire USA team to divisionals for sports season, which would be a huge undertaking, but we're well on our way to having a lot of people go to divisionals this year and definitely next year. So as a coach, I'd love to see that. I'd love to double the size of the team as well by bouldering season, which I think is very doable. And me personally, I would like to just be climbing a little bit harder. Right now I'm hitting around V7s outside, and I'd like to be getting more like V9s or so. I would say don't let your perceived limitations stop you from trying. I hear a lot, in climbing in general, I think there's a lot of excuses that get made as to why someone can't do something in climbing, and you would be surprised at the limitations people place on themselves that in the end they can definitely overcome because somebody else has already done it. And once they realize that someone else can do it, they can do it. And you don't know that unless you try. And it's important to give yourself that shot. It's important to come in and put it in the work and see if it works out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I think most people would be surprised at what they can overcome with just a little bit of direction, a little bit of guidance from peers even, and just honestly just doing the activity of climbing, just repeating it. You just pick it up and learn it, and you won't realize what you're learning until all of a sudden you're climbing way harder than you thought you could.